Before we start, I want you to take a breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let your mind open for a moment, because what you're about to hear might feel uncomfortable. It might hit home in ways you didn't expect. But if you're watching this, there's a reason. A part of you already knows something isn't right. Today, we're going deep into the 10 signs you're in a toxic relationship. Not the surface-level explanations you hear everywhere, but the real patterns, the hidden shifts, the quiet emotional bruises that most people ignore until they're drowning in them. I want you to stay with me through this entire video because every sign builds on the next. And if even one of them feels familiar, you deserve clarity. You deserve peace. You deserve to understand what's happening to you. Sign number 1, everything feels like your fault. Think back to a moment when something went wrong between you and the person. Maybe they raised their voice. Maybe they shut down. And by the end of it, you found yourself apologizing for the whole situation. You apologized for your tone, for your feelings, for your reaction, even if they were the one who started the conflict. This is how the blame cycle works. It begins slowly. A comment here, a sigh there, a look that makes you shrink just a little. Soon you start questioning yourself. Was I too sensitive? Did I push them? Maybe I should have known better. Let me tell you something clearly. A healthy relationship never makes you feel responsible for another person's emotions all the time. But a toxic one trains you to believe that you are. So you walk on eggshells. You rehearse your sentences. You try to predict their moods like it's your full-time job. That's not love. That's emotional conditioning. Let me share a short story. Imagine a couple arguing because one partner forgot to send a text. Instead of talking about the forgotten message, the toxic partner shifts the entire conversation. Suddenly, the problem isn't the text, it's you. You're careless. You don't care enough. You make them worry. By the end, you're apologizing for something that had nothing to do with their reaction. This is how blame becomes a weapon. It twists reality until you're the villain in every conflict. Take a moment and ask yourself, how many times have you apologized just to keep the peace? How many times have you taken responsibility for their behavior? If that number is high, you're not in a healthy dynamic. Sign number 2, they drain your energy. Think about how you feel after interacting with them. Not the highlight moments when they're sweet and affectionate. I mean the everyday moments, the regular conversations, the silent car rides, the late night arguments. Do you feel tired, drained, like you need time alone just to recover from being around them? That feeling is not random, it's emotional fatigue. A toxic relationship turns every moment into a performance. You are constantly managing your tone, your gestures, your reactions. You are constantly alert, hyper-aware, trying not to make them upset, trying not to say the wrong thing. That type of pressure exhausts you on a deep level. Here's the truth. Love should feel like support. Love should feel like coming home, not walking into a battlefield. Now, imagine yourself at the end of a long day. You're tired. You just want to breathe, maybe unwind. But the moment you walk in the door or pick up the phone, you feel a shift. Your mind sharpens. You prepare for whatever version of them you're going to get. You can't relax. You can't be yourself. You can't breathe fully. That is emotional exhaustion, and it is one of the biggest signs of toxicity. Sign number 3, they slowly isolate you. Isolation doesn't always look like someone saying you can't see your friends. Most of the time, it starts quietly. Maybe they make small comments about your best friend. Maybe they say they don't like how someone treats you. Maybe they plant tiny seeds of doubt in your mind. Before you realize it, you start pulling away from the people who care about you, not because you want to, but because you feel pressured to protect the relationship. You skip hangouts, you stop sharing things with others, you make excuses, and little by little, your world starts shrinking. A toxic partner wants to be the center of your universe, not because they love you, but because it gives them control. Here's a clear sign. If you ever catch yourself hiding the details of your relationship, because you're afraid your friends will judge you, something is wrong. Healthy love never requires hiding. It never requires shrinking your support system. It never requires giving up the people who make you feel alive. Ask yourself, right now, are you as connected to your friends and family as you used to be? Or have you drifted away without noticing? That's not an accident, that's isolation. Sign number 4, they punish you for having boundaries. Picture this. You say you're tired and need a little space. Instead of understanding, they act hurt. They get distant. Maybe they start a fight. Maybe they say things like, "I guess you don't care about me," or "If you loved me, you'd stay." Suddenly you feel guilty for simply taking care of yourself. This is what happens when someone can't respect boundaries. They treat your needs like an inconvenience. They take your limits personally. They think your boundaries are an act of rejection instead of self-respect. Boundaries are healthy. Boundaries are necessary. Boundaries protect you. But a toxic partner sees boundaries as threats because boundaries limit their control, so they respond with guilt, frustration, or emotional withdrawal. If you've ever stayed in a conversation when you were exhausted, or agreed to something you didn't want, or ignored your own limits to avoid upsetting them, that's not love. That's fear, and you deserve better. Sign number 5, their mood controls your whole day. One of the most common signs of toxicity is mood unpredictability. They're warm one moment and cold the next. You never know which version of them you'll get. This creates emotional instability. You start monitoring every little detail, their voice, their pace of texting, the look in their eyes. You become a detective, trying to figure out what mood they're in so you can adjust yourself. You stop living your own life, you start living around them. Let me share a simple example. You wake up happy, ready for a good day. Then they send one short message. Suddenly, your whole mood drops. You're anxious. You start overthinking. You can't focus. And now you're stuck in their emotional storm. This makes you dependent on their reactions. Your happiness becomes something they can give or take away at any moment. A relationship should never control your emotional whether you deserve stability or deserve peace. A toxic relationship doesn't just hurt your heart, it reshapes your identity. It steals your joy. It makes you forget your worth. But here's the truth. You can come back to yourself. You can rebuild. You can recover. You can rise again, and you deserve to. If you watched this entire video, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not dramatic. You are not overreacting. You are not imagining things. Your feelings are valid. Your experiences matter. You deserve a relationship where you feel safe, where you feel supported, where your voice is heard, where your heart is honored, where your boundaries are respected, where you can breathe freely. If this video helped you understand anything about your situation, subscribe now and share it with someone who might need the same clarity. And remember, you are not alone, you are not trapped, and you are stronger than you think.